Arkham 1964 here. Another visit to Kelso Racecourse, second time in a couple of weeks. So it's the November 50 day, and it was October 22nd last time round. A bit knackered. I'll explain a few things. I'll explain later on about yesterday and a rather dramatic transport issue where I said look at one or two videos going to Australia, Lebanon, at Huddersfield for the evening match in quarterfinal Rugby League World Cup. Today at Kelso. So 10:05 bus from Kelso to about to Kelso. I did have time for a pint, but I'm saying in a minute again, I had a few last night, and I had not enough sleep as well. So I'll seldom train anywhere as unlikely. I'll just probably get a little earlier. So for a pie, maybe a coffee, a little bit to eat from Shub Hospital Road from Central Station. I might have something else as well. There's nothing else to do really at Kelso Racecourse before the meeting and that overnight before the first race. I did think of bringing my new Indy Jockey's hat, and I thought it was all quite reiterated with Metwell, and I thought, don't get back and get it. No, I was actually might have done it if I'm thinking, it's getting a bit later now for Metwell. Need to get the train to Berwick to Kelso, to Castor Berwick, and I end up thinking after a minute or two, which I had done now, and it might be a bit cold, but. This is 8th time or 9th, I can't remember. I've been to Kelso. It says twice this year, but not the first time since 2019. It's a fair race, £10 to win a race for some milk. Now, one thing I didn't say about Kelso last time, I don't know when I recorded it with the video part of it. I didn't realise there's a £10.70 return from back to Kelso, and that's a real increase. I think it's on about just a couple of quid last time I did this meeting. Yes, a 10 grand to win a race today, which is alright. The first meeting I went to, 22nd October, I thought it was really a 10 grand to win a race, and I thought it was like 16. Now it was 20. It's a really good race. But a 10 quid 70 return from there to Kelso. That's got a 10 quid 70. That's gone up by quite a few quid, I think, in the last few years. I know prices have gone up, effects of COVID, effects of fuel, prices, everything else. I have to say, for this meeting, if I'd known it's 10.70, I may not have come actually. But only if I went 22nd October and knew about then. It's an alright meeting. Is it really worth, say, pushing 10 quid each way and we're transporting Newcastle to Berwick and then 10 quid Berwick? Back to Kelso. I don't know. If it hadn't been 22nd October, it might have been more worth it. I'll see. I've got time for pint. Technically, I have time for pint when I get to Kelso, but I'm not. I had a few last night. I still have time afterwards. Either two in Kelso. Get a later bus, one in Kelso, one in Berwick. I'll probably do that. One Kelso, one Berwick. There's a train strike. I was at Kelso, but I know I said earlier last time I talked about this 2 days back. I'm not a fan of either unions or the train companies, and between them, the messages rise up. Strike, unions have cancelled it apparently. Now talking to train companies, but it's so too late for the December 7th strikes to not still for services to come back on. So there's no strikes, so the services are greatly reduced. Number 9th, I think, looks like it might be going ahead now with services there might be going ahead. That's made life difficult for me, although actually I was saying earlier, it slightly helped me as I made a cock up and I got a wrong ticket to Berwick the first time round from Newcastle. Get too late a ticket, and basically would have missed probably the bus out X67 to I say X67, I think it's a 67, nothing express between Berwick and Kelso, and I just would have missed the bus and then a new earlier train ticket. Well, train strikes have cancelled that later train plus my return tickets. I've got refunds on both of them. Of course, I have to now work out how to get back from Kelso to Berwick. I think I said in my Musselburgh video, there's options. It just seems X18 come in and it's been back out again, I think. So I was trying to work out which one I can. It's either the X15 or the X18. I can't remember which one's which, a combination. One is basically a 4-hour journey, seriously, from Berwick to Newcastle, or the later one, if I come back at 7 o'clock, get a later one, it's a bus to Morpeth, and then I pick that earlier, but that bus I just mentioned up in Morpeth instead, and it's quite a bit quicker. But yesterday, I was okay, I was transport for the Huddersfield. Firstly, Transpennine cancelled the train, which they were doing too much of. Transpennine service like Avanti and West Coast is not good at the minute at all. Too many trains cancelled. Then a tragedy, frankly, and it was. Was killed, I sadly probably was a suicide, west of Huddersfield, which hit trains going to Huddersfield. I mean, it actually was about leaving Leeds. So as it's going to Leeds, they actually said we're probably going to go to Huddersfield. They were just Newcastle to York and change York to Huddersfield. And I'm saying basically at Leeds, you're going to have to get off here. But then that was chaotic. That's a very loud bird. There's a very loud bird here, of the feathered variety. And I remember on Twitter though, there's basically Transpennine saying, well, but these supposed services are running, and I saw a tweet to the train crew saying, is this true or not? I mean, and they said, no, we're not stopping Huddersfield. Now, I'm not sure. I think there probably was. I don't think yes. If that's true, how on earth do the Twitter team know this and the train crew don't? It's really rather bizarre. I mean, got in about literally, so when I should have got in about 6 minutes short of 2 hours. It's a bit annoying because either like an hour late or 2 hours late. It was 2 hours late, and my entire 45 quid that we turned in Newcastle to Huddersfield. We funded, of course, no bird flying one. Of course, someone's life, that's not very much, of course. It's a tragic situation. That was a nice game, I felt. I wanted to see Australia play rugby league, the best team for decades in the sport. Lebanon, a bit disappointing. I had 3-1, I thought it was overpriced on them, given I had a chance, and I think Lebanon never really turned up. I was back at the bottom end of the stadium. I was still attacking the other end for the first half. So I didn't see, and most of the scoring, it was 3-0 at half time, was from that end. So I didn't really see much of the second half. It looked so rough. Certainly have been better to the other way around actually where I sat, but I can't control that. Also very good. Lebanon were in second half. Lebanon were a bit better. I can see they may took a foot off the gas, maybe having easily, obviously going to win the game easily. It may have had some second choice players on for later on, maybe substitutions. That I've said already. Next meeting, probably going to fight in fifth hurdle again. I expect I will. Newcastle, I usually do, end of November this year. And the 8th of December, I booked a cheap ticket to Warwick, 90 quid each way from Newcastle by Carlisle. Unless Avanti screw the train times up, they've been doing that as well. And the way I can't want to train service either, saying the nationalisation doesn't solve it either. LNER are not going to either. But yeah, so Warwick's the 8th. I might, as I said earlier in the video, I may hold off booking a course ticket for Warwick because it may well be the train companies do actually screw things up. I mean, I could actually refund on the ticket and maybe do something else. Was it possible to go in that day before to Kemptonville Group Quality Meeting, 40 grand to win a handicap finals race? But I can't do that on Warwick because Warwick is like 5:40 in the morning, Carlisle, and I had Kempton evening meeting. There's just no way I could do both. I was thinking maybe in Hexham, till number 7th. Someone's trying to get a bird off a feathered bird that's landing on the cars. I've gone off with the bird on the car. So that's what the honking of the car was. There's a bird on the car. We're trying to get rid of a bird now. It's not off moving, and the bird's still on the car, but now I'm shifted off. So I think maybe doesn't want to go for a journey. But yeah, it would be amazing. Hexham twice, and Newcastle. I mean, it was supposed to be, apart from Newcastle, it's Hexham to get to, and we went twice. And Ascot about 21 times. That's 6-7 years. And it's basically, if Hexham's road racing is pretty rubbish. I mean, it's a lovely view at Hexham, but then you can have a lovely view at Hexham, in the Northumberland area, without paying 20 quid odd for a ticket. I think it's a bit less than that, maybe, for the 7th of December meeting. I'm not sure. That's probably a good chance of Hexham, I think. And that might be it for today. I don't think anything else. I had enough sleep last night, got back quite late. Also, the train was delayed getting back in as well because of the effect of the sad fatality is a knock-on effect on my train. In fact, I ended up having Pipe York tap because of delays getting because my original cane was cancelled just before fatality. All day the cane cancelled, so time for a pint basically. Not tap, about 40-minute wait, one may as well. I had some plans looking what I might do in Huddersfield, but by the time I got there it was a bit late, and it's a nice park. I hope it's around Hay Park or maybe something else. But I thought, supposed to get my train in, I already need 2 hours later than I wanted to be, and I'm thinking, the parking is going to be dark basically, can't be bothered. And it's interesting Rugby League exhibition at the Key. Is it the Key or something like part University of Huddersfield Archives thing? Something like Key or something, I can't remember quite what it's called. And it only takes 20 minutes to look around it, but it's interesting as well as history of Rugby League World Cup, and it's just worth seeing actually, just for sort of time. And I went to a sportsman pub for a pint, and I decided to do have enough time to go to the another pub. It's one pub name up, because I keep forgetting the name of the pub. And whereas my train was late, and I was trying to work out whether it was from Huddersfield or it's from further on. Because it started at Huddersfield, I didn't want to take a risk of it suddenly not being a late train, because somebody might decide, oh, start on time. I worked out it was coming from Lime Street in Liverpool. And well, that's not make time for thought. And then I looked, so I started, I'll have time for a pint at this pub. And then Williams, some gin, something of because real ale as well. And I kept looking later and later, and never biting me. I had 2 pints, so I kept getting later and later. Well, a bit confused with the pub. But the station, because it's a very interesting, impressive, neo sort of classical building, but it's not bloody sightseeing. It's a train station. And I started looking at Google Maps and trying to go the wrong way. It's actually close to the pub, but I started panicking a bit. I was actually have a couple of pints, and I'm thinking, where's this bloody station? So I thought I knew where it was, almost it was, and then, well, I knew certainly it was, well, it wasn't. Then I managed to get there eventually, and that was that. So, waiting a bit at Kelso right here now. Amazing, man, but some bizarrely stupid. Well, maybe not so surprising, just some bizarrely stupid. I knew it was raining a bit of a period, and some heavy rain at some point. And I was just looking at it in terms of going solely to see if there's good soft in places. I thought, oh well, I think any horse really so good soft to be okay. And then spotting it's going to be raining at Kelso. And then somehow I didn't pay attention, maybe lack of sleep last night. I was thinking of it. I get late this morning. I didn't sort of, maybe in the raincoat if it's raining would be a good idea. It's not good, it's not getting heavier now as well. Not supposed to be raining now. But really, I think we have lost the plot totally here. It's getting a little worse as rain. It's a complete miscalculation, frankly. Oh Lord, look at that, it looks horrible across just the other side of the street. Across the bit obviously of the phone here. Oh dear. Well, I'll have to go, but it's a complete cock from me.
By wee bad, just in danger of being chopped up on the rail there. 82 has gone wide. Second, then 82 was also the shape of the plate.